about that guy, calls himself JamessMK.
Oh yeah, that motherfucker smokes 2 packs a day.
I heard he's got his own show now.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, it's growing real fast. And now everybody's gonna be
by an old man.
You think that's bad? He beat me down using only one hand.
I heard he outdrinks the guests on his show.
Well, by now, I'm sure that everybody knows.
And I ain't talking no bullshit.
You hear about that guy, calls himself JamessMK,
and that DarKNaTaS, he know how to play.
All right, guys. Welcome to the 37th episode of the On Blast Show. As you know, I'm JamessMK, my co-host DarKNaTaS.
Yo.
We are running well these days. Again, you know, special thanks to Trip Sessions for supplying all the music. Of course, not the Linkin Park, but all the other music. One of the things I want to hit on right away, this way, if people catch the YouTube archive, they'll get it right away. I am holding a rap freestyle contest on the show. Okay, the way I will be doing this is very simple. Don't go practicing, thinking that you're going to come up with some kind of poetic lyricist stuff in a heartbeat, study it and come out and just start spitting. That ain't how this stuff flows here. Basically, I'm going to set this up just like a tournament. It's going to work out. You're going to be put in brackets. When you're in the brackets, I will give you guys both 3 subjects. It could be anything from My Little Pony to Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat game related. It could be insulting the other guy's mother. Whatever it is I throw at you, and you have to show the skills that you can present me, as well as the people in the chat. I obviously will be the final say. There's going to be prizes for winners. It ain't going to be $20,000. It ain't going to be a recording contract. It'll be some swag, some OBS stuff. Also, I was thinking it's probably going to wind up being top placer if he's an offline player. I will pay his tournament fee if he goes to an event. And that includes VXG if you go to VXG. So this is going to happen over the next couple of weeks. And how am I doing with smoking? I cannot tell a lie. I'm in a miserable fucking mood. I'm not crazy about it, but I'm still going well. I'm going to go as long as I can, you know, and it kind of sucks because my wife's smoking around me, and I haven't been drinking much either. I mean, I think we're gonna have to change the OBS songs. I don't smoke 2 packs a day, and I don't drink the guests on the show no more. But I drink a lot of Turkey Hill lemonade. But yeah, like I said, as far as the freestyling contest, anybody can enter. All you have to do is send your name to either hit me up on Twitter, or hit the On Blair Show on Twitter, or DarKNaTaS, which is it's DarKNaTaS 007, right?
Yep.
DarKNaTaS 007, JamessMK, or the On Blair Show on Twitter. I'm not completely drink free. Yes, Sal, it's basically going to be a rap contest. If you have some skills at spitting, and perhaps Homeboy Tyson might come out of retirement, basically you're going to be paired up, and it's going to be bracketed just like a tournament style, and we're going to eventually have a winner who's going to get his tournament fees paid at a tournament of his choice. And pretty much we'll just see how it goes. Like I said earlier, it's going to be 3 subjects to both competitors, and whoever spits the best moves on. I'm not going to take 150 guys.
You said 8, isn't it?
Yes.
Do we have any guys yet?
I've had guys that have reached out and said, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. During this week, those first 8 that hit me up are the first 8 that get in. I'll tell you this right now. In fact, to make it easier, don't hit me up on the James MK. Hit up the On Blair Show. And then this way we can separate who came in first and who came in second without bouncing around the accounts. So, with that said, we also have a guest. Oh, hold on a second. I am being beckoned. All right. Well, OBS Salavia is the first one that entered because he already sent it to the Twitter. So Salavia is in.
Damn, that was fast.
That was fast. So OBS Sal is in. And don't worry, I didn't forget your shirt. Yeah, I got you. You're in. Okay, so now the other thing I want to do, I'm going to switch this over to Natus for a little bit, and I'm going to give you the transition. Go through some of the people who's basically supported us, and I'm going to turn it over to you for a few, and I'm going to chug down some lemonade.
All right, guys, what's up? Like the usual shit tonight. Shouts out to Trip Sessions. Shouts out to Mortal Kombat United. Guys, check them out if you're looking to get into MK or Injustice. That's one of the sites you want to check out. Also, guys, check out OrSmack.com. They're a media company that puts out interesting articles. MKBible.org. The Gamers Edge. They do PC repairs, and the Valley Stream Monsters is held over there. So that's in New York, guys. So if you're interested in playing casuals, they do casual events usually bi-weekly. It's out in Valley Stream. So they do Mortal Kombat, King of Fighters. They'll be doing Injustice when that comes out. So guys, definitely check them out. That's hosted by the Combat Network. Shouts out to DV Mugen. That's run by Shinox. Shouts out to I gotta get rid of Dimension Method Gaming because they're gone. I need to update some of this shit over here. Shouts out to Mortal Kombat Online, one of the oldest MK websites out there. TRMK, shouts out to you guys. Ultra Spec Cables. MK MP Forum run by Draxon. Mortal Kombat Universe run by MK Dan. Empire Arcadia by Triforce. Total Mortal Kombat run by Luke. Pro PC Gaming. The Emperor's Realm, that's EMPR. And put that back.org. That's another media company, guys. Definitely
They
If you're not
stream, yeah,
following
they're
them,
streaming. They're streaming VSM. You got Rodney over there, who's basically going to be doing the streaming, just like Phil, for Valley Stream Monsters, coming especially for Injustice. Sorry to cut in over you. Also, another one that's not up there yet. Who these guys fight your rival. They've been around. They've been, a little bit on the down low, but I want to give these guys exposure. One of the things I like is they write a lot of articles that deal with the FGC, as far as the quality of it, type of people. Again, with you fucking in your lighter and a cigarette. But fight your rival. They definitely are somebody that I would suggest checking out. Also, I give thanks to everybody from that's here tonight as usual.
a partnership with Full Screen.
Yes, we're now partnered with Full Screen. We're a Twitch partner as well. So those little commercials that pop up, don't block them. Even though Natus was always blocking them, now he has a reason not to block them. I mean, every couple of bucks help. Like I said, we don't do donations. We're not really looking.
We're self-funded.
Yes, it's all self-funded, so it's not a for-profit at this present time. I won't lie and say if somebody offered me money, I would say hell's yes, as long as it can compete with my job. But it ain't going to, so therefore I won't. Tonight, the guests that I'm bringing are going to sound almost like you're going to be listening to Mortal Kombat characters. We have a blind man from Houston who's a Cyrax player who is now representing OBS. He will be on in a minute. After that, I will have none other than the man the myth, the legend himself, the two-time Evo champion, Carl Perfect Legend White. After that, I will have EMP, the new EMP, which is consisting of Yipes returning, Dominion. What is Sal saying? Here is my song on Amazon. I don't need it yet. So tonight we're really packed with people. I'm hoping Carrie Tagawa possibly joins us as well. And we're going to take it from there. With that, Natus, run a quick commercial, and then I'm going to reach out to our first guest.
All right.
Hello.
Hey, Carlos, how are you?
Pretty good, James. How's it going?
Good. Hey, Natus, is that commercial still running?
It's done. We're
It's
back.
done. Okay, we're back, guys. I don't know. I'm letting him run those commercials. Anyway, guys, I have Carlos Vasquez here from Houston, Texas. He is the newest member of OBS, OBS RattleHead. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Just here. I'm glad to be part of the show. I've been checking out the show, since you guys started, and I'm glad to be a part of it. And thank you very much for it.
I've seen, like I said, I've seen you tweeting. You are a die-hard MK player. I know, from your tweets that you are 100% blind. Is that correct?
That's correct. And yes, I am a hardcore MK player, fan. I always, since I grew up with the series. I mean, it's basically a common thing that you hear from MK fans. You grew up with it as a kid and from the arcades, and In my case, it's just I actually got to see the characters at some point because I was sighted, and afterwards, I lost my sight when I was I think 11. But that didn't stop me from continuing to love the series up to this point from MK9, which is yeah.
Now, I mean, of course, you know I'm going to ask you. Do you main Kenshi?
Ah, unfortunately, I do not main Kenshi. I do, however, know his basics per se, but I'm a Cyrex main.
Let me ask you this, and a lot of people are going to ask this right away. How do you play?
Okay. Well, I'm gonna explain it as much as I can because it's really I always had a tough time explaining it. But essentially, MK has always been one of those unique games that, thanks to Dan Forden, the sound has always been very unique. And even when it started at first, it was more realistic sounds. More the environment, even just like the music and the control system, like and things like that. I mean, it's pretty friendly in itself anyway. So by default, it's very very accessible, and it's basically sound wise. Um, that's what it is. It basically memorizing the sounds of each character's voices and grunts and taunts, and unfortunately, it was a little difficult with the first three MKs because if you notice the play MK2 for example had on the left side it was just for the male characters it was one particular voice, and for player two it was a different voice for the second character for the player two characters, and with the female voices they were all the same. So, but as the game evolved, little by little, I think you see more with I think it was Deadly Alliance, where the voices were a little more different, more diverse, and then Deception came out, and it was that the voices were becoming more diverse in itself, and not to mention MK9, you can tell they really worked with the sound effects. Basically they set up a standard as far as sound effects in terms of the franchise. And another thing that's what's awesome about MK9 as well, because that's obviously that's the the main game I'm focusing on right now, is that it's they made it where like your character the sound effects are coming from where the character is standing. So if say I'm fighting a cabal or something and they're doing their instant gas blasts, I can hear them coming from the left side going to the right. Or if he's on the right side, if he does the nomad dash, then he's gonna switch you around, and I can hear cabal on the other side of the screen. So that's one of the best things that MK9 has done, is to actually take the sound effects into consideration and use them to to also notify that, hey, your character's on the right side or on the left side now.
So you have you been playing a lot of offline, or is it mostly online?
I started offline obviously because I wanted to get all the achievements, and so far I got most of them. Some are just too difficult, but I mean I'm working on them anyway. It's just that I got bored playing with the CPU. I mean I played on expert mode all the time, and I do actually. My brother is also an MK fan, and a friend of mine, and we throw in, like, I didn't know they were called casual, since I knew this whole tournament scene was going on until when I started following the game more and more, and we throw in some casuals, just chill out, drink some beers, and and play the game and enjoy it, and so mostly offline. And then I decided to take it online, see what it was. But I was hearing that the netcode is it was having problems, and it was something new, and they were trying to work with it, and it's still pretty laggy up to this day. That's the only problem that I'm sure everybody knows about that. That's very laggy, and it's really hard to pull off your stuff that offline and to bring it up online. So lately I have been online. I just play random people, and I guess if anybody's curious, the way I do that is basically I memorize the entire menu on the main screen. We have fight, story mode, challenge tower, practice mode, then you go online, extras, options, and so that's the way I navigate the game, just memorizing the menus and basically really digesting the game as much as I can. and 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 as soon as I go online, I just go 4 times down, select online, go in there, signs me up. The first thing on top, it's the the rank system, and then you got player matches, private matches, and then join rooms. And so, if I just want to find some random player, I just go to player match. Or if I do want to, uh, yeah, worry about my ranking, then I'll just press right as soon as I go online. It's right there, and it'll search for a player, and then we'll go at it. So that's how it is. I remember basically. Everything's done by memory, and every game that I played, every MK game I played has been like that.
Now, how do you fend against other players?
I mean, I can say that I can put up a fight. I actually took the time, and I'm actually a member of Test Your Might, and on that site. And the reason why I made Cyrex, and I'm gonna give props flat out to the Cyrex community because of the way their community guide was organized. It's well done. It explains everything from so it's mashed into one on the first page. Everything is mashed into one. You talk about your normals, and then your mix-ups, your block strings, how to use them, how to practice, and then it goes into combos and what to use at certain situations. I mean, it really it gives you a lot of detailed info that actually helped me out because it was very descriptive. That's the only thing I usually ask, just be descriptive, and that's it, because I always ask, what kind of accommodations do you need? Well, just be descriptive enough. So if you say it's right there, well, where is that? Right there, it's a universal thing. It can mean anywhere. It can mean behind me, in front of me, to the left, to the right. So, and that's how I picked up Cyrax, and I started like learning his combos, and I just started listening to the videos on YouTube where they'll show you how to do it, and so I would memorize the timings of each combo, and then go back and go to practice mode, and start practicing them myself. It's basically just timing it up, and that was it. And so I took that online, and I fared pretty well. I'm sure that a lot of players that will play don't even realize that it's a blind person that it's playing against them.
Well, I mean, it's definitely, like I said. There's been other blind players that have played. I know there was a player out of Ohio. Now what I find fascinating about this is here is a player, and we spoke. Previous, I don't like to use the word disability because it ain't what, like I said, you're dealt a set of cards. It is what it is. You're a player. You're dedicated to the community. I had mentioned to you already that I spoke to Kat because you are from the Houston area, and a lot of people are asking what part of the Houston area you're from. I don't know Houston well because I'm in New York.
Right.
But I want to get you some casuals. I want you to hook up with Combat Houston guys. Start getting some offline experience. You have great players like Cat and Showtime over there, and if you feel that you are able to make the trip, I want to send you to Evo.
Wow.
I am going to do what I can to get you to Evo for the simple fact of, I know on the show I've told people a million times, boycott Evo, boycott Evo. But Evo is the prime tournament out there right now. As far as, in the States, offline competition. I think it's something, just like I did with MLG, I think it's something that every MK player should experience. I know damn well, because I'll come after Cat and Showtime, I want to see you sporting an OBS shirt, and I want to see you sporting the Combat, they got the Combat Houston, the swag, the jewelry that they got. It's like a nameplate.
Yeah, the chain.
The chain. So I want to see you with one of those. And like I said, we'll continue to talk more about that, in private. But I'm going to do my best to get you there. And it just, you know what? I don't care if you go 0-2. You know, I don't have expectations. I mean, you know how many people I know that go 0-2 that, you know, went in there thinking that they were going to be top dogs, and you know what? Next thing you know, they got embarrassed. I mean, I think I went 3-2. I did go 3-2 with 2 DQs. But well, Maxter and I, obviously, you know, Maxter's a top level Cyrax player. Probably him and Tony T are like the best guys out there as far as Cyrax, next to Crazy Bone as well. So I know Max is probably gonna wind up going to Evo. So if anything, I'm gonna probably try to swing something where you guys are hooked up, and you get some good casuals and some good experience playing him. Also, I'm going to, and this one I'm reaching out for, Rolando from VXG is also going to be joining us later tonight. And I am also going to try and push to get you down to, you have a passport?
Yes, I do.
Okay. I'm going to try to push to get you down to St. Martin as well. I think it's something, like I said, I think this is going to be a tournament that if you miss it, you're going to regret it. You know, and it's something that I think every player out there should experience. Like I said, this, you know, quote unquote, you know, we were talking earlier yesterday, and you know, I'm not one of those that shy away from anything. This isn't because of your disability. This is more as an OBS prop for you, for the fact that I've listened to your tweets, I followed your tweets, and you are exactly what OBS members should be. You're dedicated to it. You're also obviously a musician as well. And let me turn the floor over to you. Explain to the people. First thing is, a lot of people have asked, how did you go blind?
Actually, the condition that I have is pretty rare. I'm finding out, you know, because the main cause is diabetes or, you know, other similar causes. But in my case, it was glaucoma, more specifically closed angle glaucoma, as far as I know, which is basically, just in lame terms, I guess, it's basically just this our liquid in the back of our eyes that's always, you know, regenerating. Well, in my case, what it does is that this liquid becomes so you know, it's so heavy in the back of my eye that basically makes the pressure go up. So let's say if you're sighted and you're going blind, then you have symptoms like seeing things blurry at times, or you know, things will go dark at times, or you know, or you could just see lights and shadows but no shapes, or you lose the, you know, your color vision, things like that. And so little by little, that's what happened to me. It was, so it's basically, it's a disease that was inherited, but it didn't hit me until later on in life, at the age of 11. So it's basically, that's what it happened. Because originally I had cataracts, but it just escalated into glaucoma, and it ended up as you know, it got so bad that it to the point where it couldn't be cured anymore. So therefore, you just have to learn how to cope with it.
Well, I mean, it's, you know, I mean, obviously, I mean, I don't have to tell you. I mean, you know, the people in the chat are going, "Oh man, that sucks. That sucks." You know, it is what it is, and it's, you know, it's that that stuff that occurred in your life that makes you who you are. It basically makes you a stronger person, in my opinion. And once again, it's not because of the disability, but it's the learning to cope with something that, you know, like you said, you're at 11 years old, you know, this is something that you're dealing I mean, obviously, it must have not been easy. And once again, that's why I say you exemplify what OBS has been about from day one. You know, it's not about the wins, it's not about the losses. It's about somebody that says, you know what, I don't give a fuck what adversity gets thrown at me. I'm going to do my thing. I don't give a shit. If you tell me I can't do it, I'm going to do it 10 times more. So, like I said, one of the other things that that I know about you and I want you to get into is you are a musician as well.
Yes, I am. That's correct. Actually, yeah, I am a musician. Originally, I obviously you saw my tweets today. I was going ape shit on Barcelona because it was just an awesome game or whatnot. So, but going back, when I was a kid, that was one of my things. I was a soccer player. I was even in part of my elementary school team. And I managed to play at least one game when I joined the team that would play against other schools. So it was just one game, and after that, of course, things happened. So I turned to music, and my interest was always drumming. That was always my interest. I really like just rhythm. I like doing I like patterns, and so I got into that heavily. And I wanted.
You there?
Got problems here. Apologize.
Yeah.
We hear you now.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, we hear you.
I apologize for that. But essentially, I got into it, and when I started middle school, during the homeroom sessions, when you go to your regular classes and you go to your homerooms and stuff, my teacher was actually a musician himself, and he had this thing that he wanted to really motivate kids who have some type of disability, whether it was blindness or any other thing. And so he would bring his instruments, and he brought his drum set, and that's the first thing I went to straight up, and I started picking it up. I was just randomly playing until I really fell with it, and I liked it. I enjoyed it, and little by little, I realized that I could do it. So I just started, practicing and learning just on my own. I was just listening to, bands. Obviously, a lot of my influences come from listening to metal bands, and I would hit these drums. I'm like, man, that sounds impossible. Only the gods can do that. It's wow. But little by little, I started realizing that, hey, if I'm doing this right now, it's this basic stuff. Maybe I could go even further. So, I went to high school, and at first I wanted to join our marching band. But at the time, we had our band director who was very hesitant, and he flat out said, no, I don't want you because I don't know how I'm going to deal with you. So, I was a kid, so I didn't know at the time. So I was like, okay, I just let it go. And so then after that, years passed. Me and I met a friend of who's to this day we still hang out, and we started getting into music, and he played guitar and I started playing drums, and we wanted to start a band, but our school wasn't meant for that. A lot of the kids didn't want to be in bands and things like that, and so it's like it didn't matter, and so it didn't go anywhere until I finally in my senior year they switched to band directors, and I was like, oh, this is my chance. It's a new director. This person doesn't know me. I'm gonna try it out, and I went, and she flat out told me, you don't need to audition. I don't see the point. I've seen you play. I think you have the potential. So that she didn't hesitate, and right away she put me in the band, and I joined the jazz band. And of course, they had their band instructor, and he taught me a lot of things. And since then, we went to competitions, and basically in 6 months, I achieved being able to become the. Once we started going to competitions, I reached all the way to becoming the state drummer of Texas of 2006.
Damn.
And after that, I started going to college, and my brother's going to college as well. And he picked up the guitar. He said that it's because of me that he got into music, and he picked up a guitar and he started playing. And of course, we both like metal, so he started playing really old school metal and really shredding the guitar. Now he's just a shredder. along with my friend of mine, friend, and we, that's what we started the band, and that's what led to now us having a band that's, trying to go out there and just jam. That's it's just to go out there and just jam and have a good time, and at the end, it's not about the money. It's about enjoying what you're doing on stage, and really feeling the music, even if we, because we're right now we're a cover band, and we're of course working on originals, but and it's still fun. You just gotta like go with it and just enjoy it, because I always hear that part like, oh, it's all about originals, covers, this and that. It's like, no, if you can play the covers, now you can write your own originals. That's our philosophy. If you can pull off the covers, then you're good to go. And basically that's the story of how I ended up in music.
All right, now you sent me a track earlier yesterday to check out. All right, let me take a look and see if I got it listed in here. You know what? Can you send me the link to that again in the chat or in a private message?
Let me try it. Let me find it. See.
Because
I'm
I know another Cyrax player out there that is really going to appreciate the band that you cover. And I want you to basically explain it after, what you did with it, and, as far as the singing, the drumming. He's in the chat right now, and you're gonna blow him away because you know what, you double what Homeboy Tyson was.
I'm looking for it. I'm surprised that I haven't been asked how I use the computer, because that's usually a very common question.
You know what? I was gonna ask that after you sent it to me, but how do you do that?
While I'm doing this, it's basically nowadays they're called screen readers, but what that is essentially is basically someone a company took their time to basically understand the coding that goes behind technology, and especially say HTML, JavaScript, very detailed coding that goes with it. And basically these third parties, they write codes that go along with those additional software and hardware, in order for the program to recognize it. So it's basically a software that I'm using, and it's referred to as a screen reader because essentially it reads what's in front of me on the screen. So whether it's the text, I'm able to access it, and for web navigation, it tells me everything: the links, the headings, edit fields, form fields. The computer speaks to me as I go, and due to the nature of the way I use it, obviously I cannot grab a mouse and point the cursor to a certain thing. I need to know where things are. Therefore, I use the arrow keys and keyboard commands. So as keyboard commands is what I normally
So
use.
it's like old school.
Yes, it's called old school, but I love keyboard commands because it just so feels cool. Just you don't have to grab the mouse. Like, hey, you don't need that. Just do you want to exit the window, just do Alt and the F4. You're out of the window. You don't need the mouse.
Yeah.
And so
Most people, let me tell you something. Most people out in the chat right now, maybe they know cut and paste, and that's about it. A lot of people don't realize that you can actually operate the whole computer with just the keyboard.
You sure can.
Definitely. Okay, I'm getting the link as we speak. Give me a chance. Because I have to listen to my screen readers as I go, so I do get confused a little bit. But let me see.
Now the other question I have for you while you're doing that, is there any footage you have of you online, YouTube video or something of you playing?
There is, but it's not much about. It's not much of the best quality per se. But if you guys want to check it out, then I could link.
Yeah, link that up to me too.
Okay, so I'm gonna send them. Let me see if you guys get this. Check it out. Here we go.
Damn, look at that one shot. All right. This is for Maxter in the chat. So while you're looking for the other link, I'm gonna let this play through.
I don't hear anything.
It hasn't started.
Oh, all right.
What's up, Phil? And homeboy Tyson. Yes, Maxter. It's him playing. And yes, Maxter, by the way, it'll be him singing.
This is my kind of music.
I wish I could make it louder. Actually, I can.
My mother was a witch. She was burned alive. Wretched state of bitch. For the tears I'm crying. Take me down now. Don't wanna see your face.
He's playing drums and he's doing vocals, guys.
Behind my face.
All right, you guys can hear me now?
Yeah.
All right, I sent you the other one. Now I don't know if you can actually see it real well because it was taken with the phone. I mean, the sound is it's pretty decent, but if you guys want to check it out, and I don't know if you can, because you can barely see me anyway since I'm on the drums and I'm like way on the back. But there's I found this one, so let me know if that'll be all right.
Oh, some Dio. Shit,
Mhm.
I gotta get some Dio going.
So I hope it looks okay at least.
Alright, guys, I don't want to cut into Metallica, but Dio is better. I respect Ronnie James Dio, man. This is, guys, this is a video of him playing. Is this where you performing?
Oh, it's this new place that opened up here in Houston. I can't remember the name of the venue, but it's one of the first times that we got to play there. So it was I think the show happened in I think it was last year or the early this year. I cannot remember, but it is here in Houston though.
All right, let's see what we got.
Hopefully, it's viewable.
Oh, it's actually pretty good.
Awesome. You see, the guitarist, the guitarist is actually my brother, and the taller of the two is the friend of ours that I met through high school, and since then we've been we pretty much all three of us have been best buddies, and just to put it like that, flat out, and that's how we started the band, and that's who we are right now.
Sounds good.
Thanks.
Damn, you got a good Dio sound going too. Wow, you're like James Hetfield and Ronnie James Dio rolled up in one. Now, how do you find that? I mean, I'm talking over the song and all, but how do you find that as a drummer, singing and drumming and and pulling a Phil Collins?
It's very limiting actually, as far as technique drum-wise, because I am limited to doing a lot of the fills that I normally would do if I'm not singing. Because it limits basically my usage of double bass or double pedal. Because I have to concentrate on just making it as simple as possible, but at the same time making sure that as the song is going, that you feel it, that the drummer is really into it as well. So I mean, it is hard. Well, but once you're singing as well, I gotta make sure that the drums are sounding as good as they can, and of course the vocals. And so sitting down and drumming and singing at the time, it takes a toll on me, because usually when after we're done at the show, I'm the one who's drenched in sweat. Like, I'm not even kidding. It's flat out just pouring sweat out of me when I'm done. And the guys are like, "Oh, we're good," I mean, they were pretty sweaty, but because they would jump around stage, they're doing their thing. But I'm the one that takes the toll on most of it, And the times that we would drink it up, like usually nothing even happens to me because I sweat it all out. So I could end up drinking like 12 beers and I'm still good because of that.
I am going to drop this
Awesome.
because I'd rather talk.
Right.
But guys, I'm going to throw the YouTube link up in the chat. If you guys want to check out the whole the whole video, that's the whole video. And as well, do you have other stuff on SoundCloud?
I'm at the moment. Those are there's, if you click on our front page or the home page or our profile page, I'm sorry. There's three other songs in there. There's it's a Megadeth cover. There's Metallica, another Metallica cover, Creeping Death, and there's Black Sabbath, Children of the Grave cover. And
people are gonna hate the fact I really never liked Black Sabbath. I don't know why. Everybody's always Black Sabbath. For some reason, they just never did it for me.
Right.
But Megadeth, has been one of my all-time favorites.
Yeah, definitely. Megadeth, it's been one of our favorites as well.
Now I'm getting blasphemies and get the fuck out of here, James. I'm sorry, guys. I just
disrespecting the fathers of metal, man. How the fuck,
I mean, Deep Purple. I wasn't crazy about them either, and they're considered one of the godfathers of metal as well.
Right.
But yeah, some reason I just never grasped. Black Sabbath. I mean, there's obviously Ozzy days. I've always liked Ozzy solo, but Black Sabbath days, I don't know. It was too drug infested for me, I guess. I like good Christian music.
Wow.
And with that said, also you said now I noticed you tweeted that you're starting to get into other genres of music as well.
Yeah, definitely. Well, like I said, jazz is one of those things that I'm familiar with. So it's one of my all-time favorites is jazz. It's improv. It's very technical. You have to play solid. They don't just grab anybody. Hey, play for me. Like you have to audition and you have to show that you can keep a good rhythm. The term that they use is that you have to know how to swing. You have to know basically how to keep a time, and they want you to keep a good timing. So they'll test you with the metronome that keeps the time, and to see if you're good. I guess. But if you just a band that just wants to start, then you start from scratch. But that's what I like about jazz, that it has that it's very technical and it requires a lot. Because metal, I love metal, but it's awesome that actually like bands that would take it to the next level where they use time signatures and because basically not like 90% of music that's played, whether it's on radio, TV, or anything like that, it's written what's called 4x4 timing. So it's even numbers there, so it's easier on the listener as well. But there are other music where they take it to the next level. Tool is an example. I'm sure if anybody knows Tool, they're a band that they're pretty into odd time. They literally write their music based on mathematical equations. So and they go that far, and so their music is very technical and it's hard to keep up as a drummer, or even if you're just at a show trying to follow them, it's really hard because the time changes out of nowhere, and so that's why I got it. It's one of my other all-time favorites as well.
All right, so what I'm going to do right now, Natish, you're going to run a commercial. Carlos, you ain't going nowhere. And guys, in about 2 seconds, when I come back from the commercial, I will have Perfect Legend joining us as well. So, Natish, run one of your little commercial thingies that you like to do.
Yeah.
All right, let me find Mr. Perfect Legend himself. Wow, I got a commercial running on my thing. I don't have a commercial blocker. More money for me. Money, money, money. I make money off those commercials, people. All right, let's see. Let's find. All right.
All right, guys, we're getting Mr. Perfect Legend on here right now, so guys, just sit tight for a sec. So yes, guys, all you guys who got some questions for Mr. Perfect Legend in regards to what occurred about 2 weeks ago with this thread and anything else, now is your chance to speak, and we will touch on that some and other things that's going on with him as soon as he gets on. He is on, James, right?
I'm adding him right now.
All right.
Why is it not letting me add him? It's not allowing me to add him, of course. Alright, let me do this. Carlos, I'm going to drop you for a second, and I'll bring you back in a sec.
Awesome. Okay,
All right.
I'll look at that up. All right.
Let me find Mr. Carl. I can't spell shit. How can I not spell Carl? Alright, I might have to, let me see. I might have to, why can I not call him with me that's on here with me? Alright, let me put Natus back on here, and minor technical difficulty, people.
Yeah.
Let me reach out to him.
Gotta love Skype.
Yeah.
You're wonderful world of Skype, guys. In the meantime, while James is doing that, guys, remember, if you got any questions, comments, or anything you just want to say about the show, use the hashtag #BeyondBlastShow on Twitter. We no longer take questions when you use @BeyondBlastShow. Just use the hashtag. We'll be watching that. So, guys, later on, we have questions, or comments just about the show. Just, type it up, put it on there, let people know about it. Better way to gain exposure and, all that other good shit out there. In the meantime, guys, make sure you guys tune into Thursday for VSM. Phil will be streaming. They'll be having Mortal Kombat and KOF over there. It's a Valley stream. If you need more info, check out Mortal Kombat United. There's a thread posted on there to get more info. Shouts out to Ira Goldberg, big fan of OBS. So definitely shouts out to you, man. And you know, it is what it is. Like I said, guys, later on we're gonna have Yipes, Dominion, Gross, possibly Rio. I'm not sure on Rio still. Triforce and them coming on also talk about the, you know, BT and all the other stuff that's going on. And are we gonna get them in here?
All right, let's see what we got. Oh, call failed. Let it call again. No, this is not open broadcast show. This. Uh-oh. Call is giving me technical difficulties.
I just added him. It said it couldn't add him because of the request. Now I got him. Let's see. Try calling him again now.
Ave Maria, puta bendejo, maricon, chinga tu madre. Here we go. Let's see. Let's see if we got you now. It keeps dropping them.
Until they accept your contact request.
Yeah.
Let me try calling him and see what happens.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
It's making me want a cigarette. This is making me want a cigarette. Very much so. You know, I can't stand Skype. Bill Gates, you got to do something better. All right. So, you know, anyway, guys, you know, the reason I brought out Carlos is one of the things that I've seen over the last couple of weeks is... There we go. Yo, okay, I got everybody.
All right, we got him. I don't know, for some reason I was able to call him and it went through.
It's because Carl hates me, and he doesn't want me to. He doesn't want me to be able to add him.
Yeah, I don't know. This never came up.
All right, let me add one more. Let me add Carlos back into the call as well. All right. Okay. So anyway, guys, we are joined. Yes, can you believe it or not? From cantaloupes and paper plates on my chest, and to Carl and JamessMK sitting on a show together. So anyway, Carl, how are you?
I'm pretty good, man. I'm still tired, sleeping a lot.
Still tired?
Yeah.
Well, now, what? Let me ask you this: what? I'm sure you've seen the lates of what's been going on in the MK community. You know, you're not one that usually hops into the whole trolling games that go on.
Right.
But I'm sure you've seen some of the stuff that's been going on. What is your take on the MK community as of late?
I don't know. I need an example.
I
don't know if it will be recent or relevant, the stuff that I would say, because honestly, right now, at the top of my head, I'm like clueless.
Let me raise the volume. There we go. You got your volume on right now, so you're feeding back, actually.
Oh.
Actually, no, it's all right. It's all right.
Nah, that's just like sound noise.
Yeah,
that's
that's
what
just
that
sound noise.
Okay.
Let's see. Where do I start?
The thread.
Yes. Your thread that you made.
Oh, that one? I don't know. That's not really trolling. That's just me really saying some real shit. That's me like pointing things out that no one else wants to say to point out.
Do you mind rehashing on it, or you don't want to bring it back up, or what for those that didn't tune into it, let them know basically what your feelings are.
All right, hold on. Let me a second. I'm about to plug in these headphones
Okay.
so the sound's better.
Guys, remember, please tweet out the stream. Let people know. Put the legends on right now. And guys, if you have any questions, use the hashtag #BeyondBlastShow. If you have any questions or comments about the show.
Yeah, you sound better.
Okay. Yeah, because the sound's coming from my laptop, so I made sure now it just goes straight to my headphones, so you won't hear the feedback.
Much better now.
Much better. All right, so let's get into the thread that you had made about basically just basically, I guess it seems like your opinion of of players in the community, attitudes, and the whole, your thread basically.
Right. Well, basically, I was pretty much talking about how Junior grossing Max's performance, and now the only reason is because, first of all, I have nothing against any of the players, but it's like, if I'm going to get blown up for losing, they should too. I just feel like everyone needs to equally treat everyone the same way instead of be selective with how they treat people.
I mean, I agree with you that, and one of the things, like I said, as far as, the way the community does treat people, they put them up on pedestals, they knock them down on pedestals, basically at will. A loss today does not turn around to mean you suck tomorrow.
Right.
And, I mean, nobody can deny the fact that, look, you made me eat crow. You won 2 Evos. I said you would. There's no fucking way in the world you would, and you did. Now, everybody can make whatever excuses in the world they want to, but at the end of the day, you won 2 Evos.
Yeah.
And then one of the things that, people have complained about, obviously, about you is you won 2 Evos, and then they say, well, you don't go to any tournaments.
Right.
What do you feel as far as, going the majors, as far as what is a major, what obligations you have as the Evo champion 2-time, to show up to tournaments and basically be a circus clown for everybody, and perform.
Yeah, I'm not the puppet that you just hit a button and start dancing. So I do what I want to do when I want to do it. But as far as like majors and stuff, I don't look at a lot of these tournaments as major events, because I come from where you can't just like hold a tournament like, oh, this is a major, especially when most of the tournaments are held on the East Coast, and we already know how far I live away from the East Coast. Like, I went to last year, I went to MLG and Evo events. I'm not about to go out of my way to go to, a tournament that is, 8 hours driving for me, and the tickets might be $400, $500 round trip. It's kind of ridiculous. And a lot of players that live on that side of the country, they don't have to worry about that. They can just hop a train, they can get a ride with other people to get to the event. They don't even have to get on the airplane to get there. So I feel like it's unfair to me. Everybody's like, yeah, why don't you go to this major? But the only tournaments they talk about are the ones on the East Coast. Like, yeah, I know there's CEO and there's also Final Round or whatever, which, are great tournaments too, but I'm not going to go out of my way to go there, especially because I have my own gripes with the way tournaments are ran as far as scheduling. So I decided to just go to Evolution because they aren't biased towards players. Like, say if they know someone, they won't DQ them for being late or whatever. They're like, we don't care who you are or who you play with. You're probably going to have to play them or whatever. It doesn't matter.
Now, one of the things I'll say in defense of the tournaments, you have UGFT in Chicago, you got CEO, you got Final Round, which is pretty much still East Coast, no matter how you cut it.
The Fall Classic. It's coming up.
The Fall Classic that'll be coming up. Your ECT.
Yeah, the closest tournament is UFGT to me, and I'll probably go there because it's only a $40 train ride.
Now, you know, to be fair, as a competitor, though, you know, West Coast, there ain't that much either. You know, you got SoCal, you got NorCal, and then you got the Shuns. I don't know if they both happen in Devastation, and what's the other one? That was that was out there.
The Texas one.
The Texas.
Oh no, that's mid.
Yeah.
Fuck it. I
No,
can't
what was
think
it?
of anything else.
The Texas, the one that happened wound up happening in a bathroom.
Oh yeah, the Houston tournament.
Yeah. And that really is it. And then Toriukin up in Toronto. You know, and it's there's Canada's the Canada
The thing
Cup.
is, like everyone, all of you, well, not all of you. I'm saying like everyone on the East Coast, everyone will carpool or something like that. Me, I'm like, okay, it's just me by myself. I'm not about to drive somewhere by myself and get like tires stuck on the road or whatever, paying tolls or whatever. I don't. And that's another thing. I don't even like tournaments. Like so. Why would I go somewhere I don't even want to be at? Like, I mean, the environment is okay, I guess. You know, people are nice or whatever. You know, playing against people to show that I'm better than them is cool and all. But I've been, you know, competing for a while, and I just don't like how tournaments are ran. I like a certain way for tournaments to be ran. If they aren't ran that way, I don't go out of my way to go there. And I don't see how that's a big issue for everyone else. But I'm like, if I don't want to go to a tournament, I'm not going to go.
Now, as far as you, what do you ideally feel that is a well-run tournament? Like, how would you structure the tournament?
How I would structure the tournament? Okay. Pretty much the scheduling will be very unlenient unless there's like a lot of time as far as, you know, people just didn't show up or they just have a lot of time to run a bracket. But I want it to be like, if the tournament starts at 1, the tournament starts at 1.
Yep.
You know, and it shouldn't take more than 2 hours to go through a 64-man bracket to get to like top 32, you know. That's how I feel.
I agree with you on that.
Yeah, so I feel like from 1 to 3, if you're done with the 64-man bracket, something's going wrong in the tournament. If someone's not on time, you DQ them. That's what stuff like that. That's what I'm saying. Have the right setups, the right equipment, and everything.
I've said the same thing too before. Like, if a tournament starts at this time, it got to start at this time. You know, it's like a job. All right, you come there, you're competing, you're told the time, you do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And people get too nervous. This guy came late. This guy came late. All right, what happens in the real world when you're at a job and you come late? There are consequences for that. If you can't take the consequence out of a tournament, then don't go to a fucking tournament.
Right. Now, let me ask you this. You know, Carl, you have been. I mean, people may say you didn't go to enough tournaments or whatever they want to say as far as supporting the scene. Now, you know, I have Carlos here, who's somebody that he's not experienced the offline scene. Do you think, you know, it's something that everybody should at least experience it? To what level do you feel like somebody like Carlos, and by the way, Carlos, perfect legend, Carlos.
Hello, Carlos.
What's going on, Carl?
As far as people actually experiencing the tournament scene, here's somebody that's played some offline casuals and with buddies and whatnot, but never actually did that tournament scene. So, what kind of advice would you give somebody like him?
First, I'll ask him what are his goals as far as going to a tournament. Does he want to just go to play? Does he want to go to prove himself? You know, potentially become a top player? Is he just wanting to get some games in offline with people because, you know, that's just what he wants to do? It's more than just like, you know, advice. I'll have to know exactly what he'll be going for.
Well, Carlos, you want to answer that?
Oh yeah, sure, definitely. Basically to prove myself and to prove, you know, just that, you know, I guess to prove my skills basically, and to if I manage to become a top player, I mean, you know, why not? You know, definitely. I mean,
right.
You know, so because it's online, as everybody knows, it's just. I mean, it's fun, the whole social experience online, and it's cool, whatever. The idea is nice, but there's nothing better than being offline and playing with people around you and just having a good time and actually, you know, putting your skills. Not to mention that, you know, it's no lag, you know. So
yeah,
you know, it's I want to experience that, you know, to actually play in a high level play and not having to worry about actual lag and being able to pull like everything you practiced.
Well, that's good. I mean, a tournament is definitely a good place to go to. What I think you should try to do is like start off by playing like the higher ups offline. I mean, online, because I mean, like play with like Kerbo or something like that, for example, because they play online a lot. They don't really have a scene, so they're used to playing in like the lag or whatever. But you can get used to that, and then transition it to offline when you go to a tournament. And because you probably get beat up so much online, you're like, well, whatever. If I lose, so what? So you're able to play your best whenever you come offline. Just the only things you have to get over, like tournament nerves or whatever, because it's really no reason to be nervous playing against someone because they're human just like you are. They make mistakes just like you are. They're just more conditioned to not make certain mistakes anymore.
Yeah, well, I'm used to being around crowds anyway. I mean, I perform, so it shouldn't be a problem. But I guess if it's a game, I guess I would get nervous because a lot of people are watching, doing something that I would normally just do on my own or with a couple of buddies, and especially if they actually decide to stream it. Which I mean, if they do that, that'll be awesome.
Yeah.
And so it's just I like challenges, man. That's one of the things that I like is challenges. Like,
So
I
if you
like
want to
to
challenge yourself, go to a tournament
Yeah,
because it's a
yeah.
big challenge.
Yeah, because I like moving up the ranks. That's I grew up like that. Moving up and that's my thing. I like finishing something I started. I mean, I didn't realize there was actually like an entire community that dedicated themselves to play the game competitively and and evolve. As it went, people finding new tech, new strategies, new everything, and it brought it to a whole new level. And it's so awesome to see that our game can be taken that seriously, and that I mean, at the end of the day, it is a game, but at the same time, it's just something that's you can take it seriously, and I want to experience that. If I ever get the chance, then absolutely, I'll give him, I'll give it everything I got.
Yeah, just don't get discouraged when you go to your first tournament and like say if you do like 2 and out, don't get discouraged because it happens to everybody.
Oh yeah, definitely. Except me. I never went 2 and out.
Ever.
Ever. I can
But
actually,
essentially,
I can actually say that. I've never gone 2 and out. I'm proud of that. I've gone one win and 2. That's my worst.
Online, I actually had a few good matches. I mean, I'm not gonna say that it wasn't bad. Of course, I don't even know who the heck I'm fighting because I don't know what their usernames are. But I came across at some point it was a Scarlet player, and we had some amazing matches. I mean, we played for hours with this dude. He had an amazing Scarlet. Like his combos are like dead on, and basically he saw the opportunities that I would leave open space. He would take advantage of it, and it was just awesome. I like that feeling, and of course there wasn't as much lag. It happened to be a really good connection, so the fights were really good, and I think it turned out to be 10 out of maybe 25. 10 out of 25. Me being 10 and him 25. Like it was, and I also fought a good Kung Lao player too. I mean, I've found actually some good players. I mean,
What
obviously,
character you use?
I mean Cyrex.
Oh, okay.
Your favorite character?
No, Johnny Cage is my favorite character.
Well, they should merge them together.
Dude,
Make a Cyrax cage.
Yeah. Robo Cyrex, Robo Cage.
That's what we got Cyborg for.
Was a Cyber Cage, or that's what's gonna happen now?
Yeah.
Now, Carl, as far as VXG, do you plan on attending? And,
I don't know. It's up in the air for me, but I'm leaning more towards no.
yeah.
Wow.
Evo, obviously, you're going to go back to.
Yeah, of
Yeah, I
course.
mean, you got to try to three-peat. I'm not even going to say it ain't going to happen because last time I said something, you made me eat crow. So, but my store up the block got a fresh batch of cantaloupe. So, who knows? But I mean, I'd like to see you three-peat at this stage of the game.
I would too.
At this stage of the game, especially now, a lot more different people have leveled up more. I mean, now it's all, I tell everybody the same thing. It don't matter the brackets, how they're established and set up. The top let's say the top 16 are usually the same top 16 people offline anyway. But, other players have obviously come up the ranks a little bit more. Like 16-bit came up a little bit more. In fact, made an impact at Evo as well. Pig the Hut, Rio fell off. I know your match you had with, you got blown up down in VXG last year with Gross. Gross is new blood, newbies actually down in Florida as well as also a lot of Cyraxes and Cabals are coming after you.
Well, Cabal I've never really ever had a problem with, as I've never really lost a tournament to Cabal. I've only really lost to Cyrax, Cage, and Katana, really consistently. That's it.
And what do you think your weakness is against Katana?
Well, as far as Kung Lao goes, she just controls the air. He can't go into the air. It's a problem for him. And she just has better footsies and outranges him and shit. I just pick Raiden and that match becomes hella easy. The same with Cage. I can pick Raiden versus Cage. It's the same thing. No one's going to believe me because they don't really know how Raiden's supposed to be played, but that's how that match is too. But I found some shit with Kung Lao yesterday that pretty much changes all those matches more to my favor. It's kind of funny how I've never done this stuff before, and actually no one else is doing it either, but I'm just going to
save it.
Do it. Save it at Evolution. That's another thing. I don't care to go to other tournaments. I'm like, well, I want to win the biggest tournament, so why should I display everything that I'm doing, in a situation where it doesn't matter as much if I win? Because the only reason I went to MLG, I was like, well, the money is good, so I'd rather go there and try my luck than to go to, I guess another major and try to do something. Because I don't like to put myself through stress just to, I guess prove to other people. I like proving to myself more than anything.
Now, as far as DOA, are you still playing it? Is it done?
For me, I'm not going to touch the game because the only reason I was going to play is for IPL. And one tournament that happens, in Philadelphia, they get a good turnout, but it's not enough to me to really keep playing it. I'd rather just play Mortal Kombat and Injustice when it comes out instead of playing, DOA as well, when only there's one area in the country that actually has a turnout. It's only 50 people. It's not enough to where I should be putting a lot of my time in. It's not like I can be all right, I'm about to, try to go win a world championship or something, because there's no world championship to win.
What people are asking, who you planning on maining for Injustice?
Batman.
Is he good?
I'm the biggest Batman fan ever.
Batman?
I would expect him to be good. He's freaking Batman.
Aquaman. He's Aquaman, man. It's all about Aquaman.
Oh, everyone says you look like Aquaman. Well, you and Aquaman look alike. So
Aquaman looks like me. I'm older than Aquaman. But no, I've heard that. But I am gonna main Aquaman actually. I do like Aquaman. They made him pretty badass, so hopefully he plays well. What do you think so far about Injustice, as far as what's come out, as far as characters, the way the game looks, the way it plays, looks like it plays. I hear Native's lighting a cigarette again.
Shut up.
Fuck, shit and smoke.
Well, I like how, it looks the same as MK, but of course, you have to, you can't hold block to block.
Yeah.
So you have to hold back or whatever. So, there are more mix-ups that can be done as far as cross-ups and stuff. Hopefully the characters, there aren't any kind of palette swaps or anything like that. Starting off, I hope all the characters can play totally different. I wouldn't mind there to be a bunch of rushdown characters and a bunch of zoning characters, but hopefully they all don't play exactly the same or have the same strategy or whatever. The character trait thing where they have their own little character thing that sets them apart from everyone else, I think that'll be big as far as how the game is. The Clash, I don't know if it's going to work the same way as the Breaker, but I hope it's not as annoying as the Breaker.
Do you think the game's actually going to kind of unite the fighting game community at all, as far as Capcom and MK players finally starting to come together?
Maybe, but like you know how the Capcom players are. They suck at a game or they start losing it, and they'll stop playing and go back to what they play.
And then that game's ass all of a sudden.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what happens.
I definitely agree with you on that. But I think you know, I think it's going to be a wake up call on both sides. With the cross ups, I think a lot of MK players that grew up on a block button and never actually had to play a game where back to block was applied are going to be in for a wake up call, as well as you know a lot of the Capcom players out there that are obviously used to that. But I think the play style of the game itself is not the same as Street Fighter. Therefore, they're going to be kind of taken back as well. So I think you'll gain groups on both sides, lose a little bit, but I think at the end of the day, it's going to wind up being a good mix of both crowds actually finally playing the game. And maybe catch some anime people, you know, while we're at it. You know, you figure the people that are into DC Comics, you know, they're going to definitely, you know, at least a decent chunk of them are going to gravitate towards the game. I just don't know if they're going to gravitate towards it to a point where, you know, it's going to make that much of a dent, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, people that read comics don't buy games just because, you know, the characters in there. They'll buy a movie or they'll buy the comic, you know, before they'll buy a game, especially if it's a game that's very competitive. Do you feel the game's going to be a very competitive game compared to, you know, say like an MK or a Street Fighter, or do you think it's going to fizzle out?
Well, I don't think it'll fizzle out because it'll probably, I mean, based on how NetherRealm makes their games, well, and how MK9 was, it feels like a 3D and 2D game like meshed together. So I would expect, you know, Injustice to play that way. I don't know. Injustice is probably going to be like its own version, well, its own fighting game. Hopefully, I just don't want it to feel like MK or feel like Street Fighter, feel like anything. I want it to be its own standalone game.
Okay. Now, do you have any wishes, since, you know, obviously Injustice is coming down the road, what you've seen on that? You've obviously played MK9. Futures for, say, MK10? What you would like to see in the game?
In MK10?
Yeah.
No more low hitboxes. So they can't crouch on my attacks anymore. But, I mean, as far as, like, game mechanics, I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, some people probably say return the run button, but I don't really care about that. I don't know what they could do to, you know, enhance on what they've already done. I wouldn't want them just make it totally, you know, I mean, they should try to keep the legacy curve or whatever. But I guess try to keep the flavor that they did. You know how they went from MK2 to MK3 and it was like kind of, it played the same but it didn't at the same time. I hope they can do something like that with MK9.
Yeah, it was definitely, it was
MK10.
especially for me, it was a wacky transition going from what I like to call earning your combos to dialing combos. That transition kind of set me back on the MK series. Not saying I hated MK3, but it was probably my least favorite for years. And then obviously the 3D era started, and then obviously that least favorite was replaced by a lot of other versions. And you know, now that I go back to it, I can actually say it's a different game altogether. If MK10 came out, something to that effect, I don't know if I'd like it. You know, I mean, I don't know, the run button, you know, the run button at this stage of the game, you know, with the ability to actually have characters running at 60 plus frames, you know, I don't think the run button is necessary. One of the things I noticed, though, with obviously with Injustice is that there's no run, and you know, you basically have a naked dash, unlike, you know, MK, where you can do the dash block canceling and chip your way in. you really can't do that because you have to hold back to block now.
Yeah, I would like to see something like KOF where they have all those different ways of movement or whatever for the next MK game. That'd be tight.
See, that would be good. Yeah, that would definitely be good. What's your feelings? I mean, is there any players out there that like you look at right now that I mean, I don't want to see. I guess I'll just straight out say that disappoint you.
I don't know. I don't.
I mean, I wouldn't say. Yeah, I wouldn't say on a personal level, but like you were saying in the stream, just performance wise, you know, from say like compared to like people that you saw in Evo compared to like what level they were playing at then to what's happened now. Because I mean, I know a lot of people have stopped playing. You know, everybody has an excuse, is what it comes down to. But
right. You
know, people unlevel up or devolve, I guess, as far as leveling up goes. So
I mean, it's common for people to lose interest in the game or any game that they play, especially if they played it for so long. But at the same time, you know, there are players that some players shouldn't lose to, that I feel. But I can't really say if there's anyone that just outright disappoints me by the performance. I can't, because I'm always. I mean, I don't think very high of my competitors. Like that. That's just me. It's not like anything personal. It's just I don't think highly of anyone because why do that when I would psych myself out versus them if I were to play them? You're like, oh my god, this guy's so good, and then play them, and then you beat yourself before you even play them. So I don't think highly of anyone.
Now, as far as other players out there, you know, would you put a group of like I don't know. The top 5 guys that you would say are the guys that you would want to face? I mean, obviously, when I say that, I mean in a competitive sense, not 5 guys that are free. You know, 5 guys that, like you said, you know what, I can walk away from these matches. If I win them, I feel extra good about it.
No. And anytime I beat anyone, I feel exactly the same.
Empty?
Yeah, I don't feel fulfilled. I don't feel, you know, like I got over on them or whatever. I'm just like, whatever. Okay, the next task. What's the next task now? Like it was funny after I won Evolution, I was like, all right, who do I have to play now? That's exactly what I thought. Like even though like I just won, I was like, who do I have to play now? But that's just the mindset I am in for when I'm at a tournament.
Now let me ask you this. I'm going to roll back way before the MK days. This Master or whatever. What was that whole rivalry? Like, I mean, because that was, I don't know, that just seemed like it was on a different level as far as rivalries went.
Yeah, it's different than, you know, like me and Junior or me and Rio or whoever else, because it's straight up like in the game competitive. That went beyond the game. Like, as far as their shit involved, as far as a tournament scene where they would announce a tournament or prize money for a tournament really late, so no one would even pay attention to the tournament or even know about it. And then when they do announce it, it's too late for anyone to get a ticket to get out there. But Master apparently is scheduled to already go, and we're like, dude, what the fuck? You know, it would be dumb shit like that. Or certain terms will be rigged to where he has an easy bracket. Like it would be totally like you could just see it. Like basically, he would have to play like Mystic, Kasumi Chan, and Suzy, who wasn't even really like fierce back then because he didn't really play anymore. And then I would have like me, Offbeat, Vanessa, and King, which are all like, you know, good at the time. And it was just like, okay, you know, this guy clearly has an easy role, and he will only be able to win tournaments that are basically set up for him to win. But tournaments that he actually had to go and put himself into the you know, the crap barrel, he will always lose. He will never come out on top. I mean, he would place high, but he would never win.
What about I guess what was it? Was it a TV show or something they were doing for a while?
Yeah, Championship Gaming Series.
And I'll tell you this: I saw your face, and I think that's the saltiest I've ever seen anybody. You just had this head shake, smirk, and I don't know. He made a wise ass comment, like, you know, the guy was like, "Hey, how do you feel?" He's like, "I feel perfect." You know what? Yeah. You know, I guess that was the high point of the rivalry at the time, or did it even get worse?
I mean, I couldn't do anything out there. Like, I couldn't say anything or anything like that because the management I was under and just the way the show was or whatever. And it was really, like, set up. Like, for example, and the CGS settings, they had the health bar on largest life. They had the time set to like I think 99 seconds. So, and one round, 5 rounds, one match, 5 rounds. So, wait, no, it was 1 round, 5 matches. So basically, you play 1 round and it resets to the next round. Basically, like it's like every round was a match. That's how they set it up. And the fighting games are not like that. It's best 2 out of 3, or best 2 out of 5, best 4 out of 7, and 3 rounds in the match if it's a 3D game or whatever. So it's set up like that. But then, in DOA, if you have it set to 1 round, it resets you back to the first part of the stage. And stage is really big in DOA because of the knockdowns or the environment shit. And Hayabusa, of course, like he usually is a character that takes the most advantage of environmental. So basically, if you're at the stage with a bridge or whatever, he has 4 different ways to knock you down and get like 80%, 70%, or whatever like that. And on top of this, since it's on largest life, it's harder to make a comeback on Hayabusa, but Hayabusa is the best like comeback factor in the entire game. And he's hella safe and has everything that you could ever want in a character in DOA. And basically, they gave him that advantage. I mean, like, yeah, the easy thing is to be like, yeah, you should just pick this character and mirror match him or whatever. But there are characters that fight Hayabusa that I play with, but because my damage was being like toned down a lot, I couldn't do anything about it. Like and then on top of that, they had us play on laggy monitors, and Master back then was like the king of lag. So yeah, lag tactics upon lag tactics. So you couldn't even punish him, you couldn't do anything. So it just felt like you were playing underwater, he was still playing full speed. So it's like, guys almost close to unbeatable on a format like that. But on a regular format, I've never lost to him.
Now he, what? I mean, I got to admit, I ain't never picked up the game. One of the things that turned me off from it is, I hear people tell me like, you could be beating the shit out of the person, and all of a sudden, like you'll just start losing energy. They just like reverse you, and
the counters. The counters are the most annoying thing in the game because even though you're in hit stun, they can still counter out of the hit stun, deal damage to you, and get the advantage back. On top of that, you knock someone down. You have to guess between 3 get-up kicks. This is in DOA 4. In DOA 5, it's only 2 get-up kicks now. But the get-up kick can hit you and then give the opponent advantage. Like, it puts you in a combo or a stun state to where they can follow up. But now they changed it to where now the get-up kicks only push back. They don't actually, guarantee anything unless it's on counter hit. Even though it's better, the get-up kicks are invincible. And if you block them, they're safe. So you have a 50-50 mix-up on Wake Up.
Now, what about this infamous bridge? I mean, I heard stories that there was a whole bunch of bullshit with this bridge stuff.
Yeah.
What's that about?
All right, pretty much Hayabusa has a move called the Azuna Drop. And the Azuna Drop does 70% whenever he, lands that move on you. He can either land it from a throw or from one of a punch counter. Either from a high punch or a low punch or a mid punch. It doesn't matter. So he has all of this, and you have to use punches to hit somebody because that's usually your fastest plan of attack. So while you're on the bridge, the mind game is like, all right, you don't want to do any punches because you don't want to get hit, but also you don't want to not hit a button so he doesn't grab you. But now you're feeling like that. You feel like he has a big mind game where you don't want to do punches. If you do kicks, they're too slow, so he can overwhelm you with his own shit. So that's what it was. And then he had like a launcher from across the screen, which was hard to punish. It was like in the game one of the fastest moves in the game, and it will beat out all your mid attacks or whatever. And so Hayabusa basically is like this broken ass character already, but then when you put him on a bridge, he goes to like God mode, and that's why it was such a problem. And because on CGS now in regular format, and you get knocked down off the bridge, you fight the rest of the match on the ground. You don't ever go back up to the bridge because of CGS format. You have to start back at the top of the bridge.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, so the game obviously they obviously dropped the ball on a lot. I mean, I was thinking that this game was going to be, very tournament viable. I know. In fact, I remember you tweeting a lot back in the day when it was on its way out. That you thought it would be. At this stage of the game, I guess it's safe to say that it's not a tournament viable game. Do they plan on patching or anything, or is they just basically?
No, they patched it like twice already, but it's like I mean, I haven't played it extensively. I found out a bunch of shit in the game before I decided to like just stop playing it for a while. And there's like the biggest problem of the game is that, you know, scrubs can get into the game and just hit buttons to do strings and mix you up. It's not like a regular fighting game mixer where it's like, all right, I got to get in. And then once you get in past the spacing game, you have to do a mid or a low. No, like the spacing in DOA is like just, it's like it doesn't exist. People can just get in and do what the fuck they want to do. But now with the way that the sidestep works in the game, because before the sidestep wasn't as useful as it is now, but you can sidestep all those stupid ass strings and mix-ups, and they have to actually use real, real fight game type mix-ups. So I haven't like played it thoroughly since the patch that came out because it was only on PS3 for a while. When I was on Xbox, I haven't played anybody, but just the way I would play the game, I would probably dominate it, just from what I think how it works right now. And usually when it comes to DOA or any game that I decide to play, whichever way I think the game works, usually it works that way. Not to say be cocky, but that's usually what happens when I'm like, okay, I think this game works like this, and it actually works like that. The only game that I'm like clueless on is Marvel. Everything else, I'm just like, oh, okay, this is how the game works. But I see that they just announced that final round there's a $5,000 pot bonus for DOA. I might just go to final round, come out of retirement for the game, and go to final round for that. Because I mean, honestly, most of the DOA players are kind of not smart as fighting game players, but because of the way DOA is, they don't have to be.
Do I got to put a fucking bounty out on you?
Damn, DOA on blast.
Do I got to put a DOA bounty on you? I want
Pig
the Hut. I want Pig the Hut to beat
anything
you.
can happen. I'm not confident to where I could be like, oh man, I'm gonna definitely beat somebody. I used to be afraid more of the scrubs than I was of the top players, because scrubs, you don't know what the fuck they're thinking. They probably do some dumbass shit. There's too many variables in DOA where somebody could just randomly you out with counters or do some stupid ass mix up because of the rock paper scissors system. But if the top players, you know exactly how they like to play, their play style and stuff like that, you won't lose to them as much. But in DOA 4 there were scrub busters, you didn't have to worry about scrubs. But in DOA 5 is like, what the fuck is a scrub buster now? It might be the sidestep, I don't know, I haven't played extensively, but I mean, since final rounds at the end of the month, I will have more than enough time to actually figure out what I want to do. Because I still have people that I know play the game. I know there's people in Michigan like Ryujin that play the game. I can go play with those guys or whatever.
Well, what as far as Perfect Legend, what is the future for you as far as, obviously we know Evo. You're saying maybe final round you're going to go through. Now, if you go there, you're going to play MK, or you're just going to do DOA, or you're still up in the air?
I DOA, because I like to focus on just one game. When I focus on one game, I tend to do way better. If I were to play MK and try to juggle DOA at the same time, it's kind of like a conflict of interest, because one, I mean, at the end of the day, I am a businessman, so I don't want to just go to it. I mean, like I said, at tournaments, I don't really have that much fun. So I'm going there specifically to win the money. So I would go there specifically just to play DOA and focus on DOA 100%. Because not a lot of people play DOA. Most people have to worry about is probably DOA Master or Sweet Revenge or Black Mamba if he goes or something like that.
Well, wouldn't you win more money playing MK than DOA, since there are probably more MK players there?
No, because of the pot bonus.
Oh, what's the pot bonus for DOA?
$5,000.
5K.
Oh, okay, gotcha now.
Yeah, so I mean, they definitely, you know, it's kind of fucked up when you think about it. How, you know, a game that gets more turnout gets like no pot bonus. A game that has less of a turnout gets a $5,000 pot bonus.
Shouldn't have a pot bonus from NetherRealm or Warner Brothers even up to right now. I mean, I don't know why. I mean, hopefully they do something for Evo or VXG or something like that. But there's no reason that they shouldn't put money into that game.
Well, VXG's already at 8,000 right now, and that's just their money.
And it's $3,200 for first place.
But the pot bonus is still 8,000. Still not bad.
Yeah, I mean that's not bad. But if you're from America and you're coming out there, like me, I don't have JetBlue. I don't have a $400, $500 ticket. Mine's $600, $700. So I'm not about to, like, you know, spend $600, $700 out there, then pay for a hotel and entry fee, which is $120. And then, you know, I'm almost not breaking even. I'm pretty sure I'm making more money than I spent to get out there. But for me, personally, it's not worth it.
Well, you know, they still got that that lingering thing. I know you don't want to touch on that subject, but that 5K prize fight, that, you know, that's another possibility to throw on some extra money to yourself if you win.
Yeah, I know, but that's the thing. I'm still not about to pay for my own flight to get out there.
Okay. Oh, in case the guys don't know, also, Ronaldo did announce that Mortal Kombat has currently over 120 people registered at VXG already.
Yeah. I mean, move to New York, man. The fuck's in Ohio anyway?
Man, I do not like New York. I mean, New York is cool and stuff, but living there, I can't live there.
You guys ain't got real pizza there. You got that fake ass fucking shit.
All right,
that you call
we don't have real pizza, but
your
but
bars
we
are
have
good
good
though. Your bars are good, and you motherfuckers got country dancing and shit. That square dancing shit.
I don't know nothing about any country square dancing.
Yo, when I went to what was it, Seasons Beatings or whatever, me and Baxter, we went into some fucking bar that was like right next to it.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Remember, I was there too.
Oh yeah, that's right. And the motherfuckers were square dancing and shit in the back of your bar. I mean, that's an Ohio bar.
I didn't see that. I just went to the bar, had a drink, and then went back to the hotel room. I had no idea about no square dancing or nothing like that. Everybody thinks Ohio's some country ass place. The only countryest thing about Ohio is it's like hella racist. Like everywhere is racist as hell.
Dude, I drove one year from New York to Chicago, and yo, when you get on that Ohio Turnpike, there ain't shit. It's just desolation, emptiness.
Yeah, that's what it is.
And
the best part of Ohio is like Columbus or Cincinnati.
You know, I mean, I like Columbus. I'll say I did like Columbus.
Yeah.
You know, Columbus was cool. You know, I never did Cleveland, so I can't really say.
Cleveland is like a hellhole, basically. There's you don't want to be in Cleveland.
It's like
the worst part.
It's like the hood stuck in the middle of the Klan country.
Yeah.
But you also got where did they do with the year after? They did 1 year in Columbus, and then they moved it to what, Dayton? No, where did they move it to 1 year?
I've driven through Dayton. I've never been there though.
I thought they moved Seasons Beatings from one place to another.
Oh, it was in Columbus this year. No, actually, it was in Cleveland. It was in Cleveland this year.
Okay, yeah. So.
Well, last year.
Are they doing it anymore, or are they done with Seasons?
I don't know. They might be done with it. I think they said it was the last one. I mean, that'd be nice if they brought it back.
I mean, yeah, because there really ain't, like I said, you're basically bound to the East Coast or Chicago.
Yeah, because I went to Seasons Beatings. I went to all their Summer Slams and stuff like that. But they probably not gonna hold them anymore. So I mean, I don't mind going to UFGT since it's like a 4-hour ride on a train. And I'd rather take the train instead of drive and take all the tolls and pay all the gas and nonsense. The gas up there is $4. I'm good.
$4, damn. It's actually more expensive than here.
Yeah.
Now, what about the offline scene? Like I mean, look, I've heard you tweet other times. You really said that there's no real offline scene for you. So I mean, you're basically bound to playing kind of online.
Yep. I have no offline scene. I would have to, if I want to play people, I have to go to Michigan or Cleveland or something to play with people.
Now, how like Forever Kings and M2 Daves? I mean, are they like far? I mean, like,
yeah.
Are you guys like really that far separated? 3 hours, damn. That's a long way to fucking
damn,
get
you live in the boonies, man.
I know. That's why I try to explain to people, but they're like, "Hey,
holy
man.
shit!"
Fucking 3 hours from civilization from the next player. That's bad. You know what? You know what else is a fucked up scene? Florida.
Yeah, Florida. Everybody's
Florida's Florida is like, you know, they're either in Tampa or they're in Miami or they're in Jacksonville or Orlando, which is like on all 4 different parts of Florida's coasts. So it's like, you know, these guys are like 3, 4, 5 hours apart from each other just to get off lines. You know, New York guys really have it good. I mean, you know, the guys in the city, it was like an hour drive, you know, to VSM. And, you know, I will say this. One thing about VSM, when it was in its prime, it was unstoppable. You know, but, you know, like everything else, you know, people fall off. I mean, I know Junior was playing 35 different games. By him doing that, Maxter doesn't play the game because his other brother don't live near him. J360's working. This person's doing this. Life goes on is basically what it comes down to. And a lot of people, and when you kind of were saying, what you were saying on the thread, I was kind of like, wow, fucking, it moves on for you as well. It moves on for them. It just, I've been saying it since day one. An average fighting game has an 18-month lifespan. This game has lived beyond its years, and I think with Injustice coming out, I'm not going to say the game's going to go away, but I will say it's going to be a back burner game, and then it probably is going to fade in time. And I know people are going to disagree with me, but only time will tell. I think Injustice is going to replace it rather fast.
I think it will empower it because I think they both can exist side by side. But as far as, that's also up to the community. But I feel like they both can exist side by side.
I think it'll. I think it. Like I said, I think it'll be there. I don't think it'll be there in the aspect of like how. Maybe it'll be like an MK2 because it is the first game to go back to that 3D plane. So maybe it'll be in there. So now you'll see a MK2, 3, and MK9 tournament. As side tournaments at a lot of the events. Hopefully,
I think MK9 is big enough to where it won't be like some sideshow thing.
I don't know. Only time can tell.
Not with Injustice running side by side with it.
Yeah, well, look at it this way. If you're coming there to be an Injustice, why not play MK9? But, one of the things is, I think you're not going to see the main focus of players because they're going to be focused on Injustice. Like you were saying with, playing, DOA or MK9 down in final round, you'd rather focus on the one where you're going to get the money. People are going to tend to do that with Injustice as well. And they'll play MK9, but it's going to be like, yeah, I win, I don't, oh well. It was a $5 entry fee. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, that $5 entry fee shit is not attractive. That's what Console Combat used to do, and it was like, yeah, man, come out to Console Combat for this $5 entry fee tournament. And I have to drive almost 3 hours to get to. I'm all right.
Hey, Pig, I know I see you saying that you can't see or hear the stream here. The Twitch app is a fucking piece of shit, and I can't believe I actually paid for that piece of crap. You can't see the chat room. You see a black screen. It's horrible.
What do you mean you paid for it?
The Twitch app, you pay for it.
That's free on fucking Android. You guys Apple sucks, dude. You guys get ripped off.
All I know is the fucking your crappy ass Galaxy thing is coming out. I think the end of the week they got the show I just set up for.
Oh, the Galaxy 4?
Yeah. It looks cool. I don't like the retinal recognition thing it's got, where instead of like flipping through pages with your fingers, you just roll your eyes and it changes the pages. Because kind of like you could be sitting there talking to me while I'm reading and I look at you and it's going to start fucking changing pages. So it kind of is a little awkward.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, it's got a lot of cool features in it, but like I said, I wasn't impressed. I'll stick with my iPhone. Anyway, listen. Have you, as far as the VXG, is there any considering the $5,000, or is it something that you just pretty much adamantly know it's not going to happen?
I don't care to play him or not. I'm just saying I'm not paying my own way out there to play in the match.
So if they pay your way out there, are you willing to do the match?
Yeah.
Okay. I hope these guys are hearing that, so that's something to work with.
And my neighbor's knocking boots upstairs. Nice.
Put the mic to the ceiling.
Hold on.
You could actually try.
Nah, it's not gonna reach. It's not
At the
gonna
same
reach.
time, I think between me and Rio, that has died down. I don't think either one of us really care
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah, I mean but you know what? It's something that
The fans want to see.
yeah. I mean, people do want to see it, and it's something that you know what? If anything, nobody loses. You know, it's not like you're gonna lose. It's not like you're both putting up, $2,500 a pop,
Yeah.
and it's a chance you're gonna lose. I mean, you win, you win. You win, you walk away with something. You lose, you're still at the tournament. I know one of the things that you were, concerned about was, what if you win that but don't win the tournament, or vice versa. Is the shitting on you going to happen again? That's something that, look, and I've told it to you in the past, it's just something you got to get used to. Haters are going to hate. It's very simple. Even like me with this show, I say one thing, 100 people like it, 10 people hate it. I'm sorry to the 10 people that hate it, but tough shit. And that's the same mentality that you should take. Is, look, you know what?
Yeah. I haven't been on social media or anything at all, so I'm just like, I almost like don't even care. I'm just gonna do what I do and play.
Well, listen, I'm gonna let you go. Because I do have Yipes and Dominion coming on here in a bit, and I just don't want to overload it because I want to run this video I got.
All right.
Oh, this is gonna be funny. I saw this video.
Oh yeah. Once again, guys, Perfect Legend. I appreciate you coming on.
No problem.
You're always welcome to the show. And if you had any shout outs you want to get out there to CD Junior, you go right ahead.
Shouts to me for being me. No, I was playing. Shouts to my lovely girlfriend. Shouts to you, James, for having me come on. I know you've been trying to have me come on forever, and I've been like, no. But I finally decided it was all right. Shouts to all the tournament players who have all this hype surrounding them, but they can't perform or deliver ever.
Damn.
Damn. That'll be a new thread tonight on Test Your Mind.
Yeah. And hope to see y'all at the next event that I decide to go to. I might go to final round just because that $5,000 for DOA. It gives me something to do, so I'm not just sitting here bored until Injustice comes out.
That's true. For 5K, yeah, I'd go.
Yeah, me too.
But anyway, let me let you go. Glad to have